Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chilling story. Now let's dive into story number 1. It walked upright in the dark. Submitted by someone who lived through this on their family's ranch in Durango, Mexico. I grew up on a small goat ranch tucked into a valley where the mountains cast long shadows and the nights feel heavier than they should. Out there, we don't have neighbors close by, just dirt roads, wild hills, and stories that nobody tells out loud. This happened to my family in the summer of 2008. I was 16. That was the year we lost nearly a dozen goats, not to predators, but to something else, something unnatural. It started with the silence. One night I woke up and realized how quiet it was. If you've ever lived on a ranch, you know it's never truly quiet. Dogs bark, animals stir, insects buzz. But that night, it felt like the earth had stopped breathing. Even the crickets were gone. The next morning, we found 2 goats dead in the pen. There was no blood, no sign of a struggle, just their bodies stiff and cold, with 2 small puncture marks on their necks. My father blamed coyotes at first, but coyotes don't leave bodies untouched. They tear, they eat. These goats were left whole, empty. The local vet said it was anemia, a freak thing. But that didn't explain the second night or the third. On the 4th night, my older brother decided to sleep outside near the pen with his rifle. He was always the brave one, the logical one. He said if it was a predator, he'd deal with it. I stayed up too, watching from the bedroom window. At around 2 a.m., the dogs began to growl but not bark. They paced in circles, whining low, ears pinned back. My brother stood up from his chair, looking toward the brush line near the edge of the trees. Then he froze. I saw him raise his flashlight and rifle. The beam landed on something crouched low to the ground. At first I thought it was a man, thin, bald, hunched over. But as it turned, the light caught its eyes and they glowed, not reflected like an animal's eyes, but glowed red from within. It didn't flinch, it didn't run, it stood up. And that's when I knew we were dealing with something no bullet could stop. The thing was tall, maybe 6 feet or more, with limbs that bent wrong. Its skin looked grayish, almost scaly, like a snake or some mutated lizard. A row of jagged spikes jutted from its spine all the way down to where its tail should have been. But there was no tail, just long, clawed feet and arms that nearly touched the ground. My brother fired a shot. The sound echoed off the mountains. The creature didn't scream. It let out a rasping hiss like someone trying to whisper underwater. Then it dropped down, leaped backwards into the trees, and vanished like mist. We didn't sleep that night. The next morning, there were no new bodies, but there were deep scratches on the wood near the goat pen. 3 parallel lines burned into the surface like acid. And the goats? They were trembling, refusing to eat or even move. My father stopped pretending. He called it by name, El Chupacabra. Everyone in the region had heard of it. Stories from the 90s, sightings in Puerto Rico, rumors in Texas, but always told like myths, campfire nonsense. But the ranchers around us had their own whispers. Dead cattle, empty chicken coops, claw marks on tin roofs, and always the same pattern, no blood. We put crosses on the fence, we burned sage and garlic, anything we could think of, but it didn't stop. Over the next week, 3 more goats died, always on the outer edge of the herd, always the same 2 marks, always without sound. One night, my little sister swore she saw someone looking in through her window. She said he had red eyes and no lips, just teeth. My father nailed the shutters shut that same night. The final straw came when we found our dog, Mateo, curled up on the porch, dead. Not a mark on him, but his eyes were wide open. Whatever he saw before he died, it scared him so bad his heart gave out. We packed up the next day. My father sold the land within the month. We moved to the city. He never spoke of the ranch again. Years later, I went back out there with a friend, just to see. The new owner let the land go wild. The pens were broken, the house collapsed. But there was one thing still untouched, a long wooden post with 3 deep scratches near the bottom, still blackened like they'd been burned into the wood. I don't know what El Chupacabra really is. A mutated creature? A curse? Something old that's always been here, hiding in the cracks between our stories? But I know this. It walks on 2 legs. It hunts without noise. Thanks for watching. If you like these scary stories, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. New horrors drop every week. So don't forget to hit the bell icon. It really helps the channel grow. Have a story of your own? Or something you'd never dare to explain? Tell me in the comments or email it to me.